All right, what's up, folks? It's Will here. Today we're taking a look at the Users in Communities feature in tyGraph for Yammer. We're going to talk about what it does, what you can use it for, and where you can find it. So first off, what is the users in a community and where can you find it? So it's inside the filters section. Right at the bottom, you'll notice that there's a filter here and it says Users in Communities by name. And what it does is it allows us to filter to a set of community members, but across the entire network, not just looking at like those people themselves. So traditionally, if you were to filter to a particular community, it's only going to return to you a list of users who have had activity in that community, and or if you select based on community membership, it's just going to show you the stuff that they've done in the community that you've selected the members for. The difference here is now what we're saying is within the community that I'm interested in, like what have they done across the entire network, just evaluating those users, but not limiting them to the community that we've selected. And there's two reasons that we do this. The first one is if you have a large number of people that you have in the company. So for example, say I have like a leadership team or like a communications team, and we're all members of a Yammer community. If I were to try to filter this report to those 33 people, it might take me a little while to go into the user country or the user email rather. And so like maybe I know who these people are. I could search for each of them and select them as a filter, but that can take quite a while and be pretty tedious, especially as people maybe come and go from this team. I don't really want to maintain that as a filter. So a much faster way is I can use the users and community names to say, look, I know that all those 33 people are members of this one Yammer community. And so now I can select systems leadership and bam, it's going to show us the activity for the users that are inside this community, but across the entire network. Now, we'll notice that that community is ranked the number one in this situation, but it might not always be if those people are very engaged in other communities. And in fact, they are, but they're just less engaged in other communities, and you can see them ranked down here. The other reason you might do this is, again, if I wanted to analyze this particular community, so say that I ran a community of purpose or like a community that's focused around a certain division, and I wanted to know how my community members are engaging in Yammer, or if they're going to other communities, if they're finding content in other places, you could take that perspective from this as well. And so if I ran, maybe we'll take one that's a little larger in our demo company here. Like if I was the administrator of real-time talk, I might be interested to say, okay, well, where are my users? People who are members of my community, are they spending their time in other places? And like I mentioned before, we can actually see that a lot of them are actually spending their time in central systems, more activity actually in central systems than they are in my own community. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it allows me to be able to make an informed decision about the engagement of those people in other places in Yammer, as well as to be able to look at the trends across the entire network, right? So like of the people who are inside my community in general in all of Yammer, are more or less of them engaged? Are they beginning to reduce the number of communities that they are participating in? This could be another big signal for me to be able to say, well, in this case with this demo company, there's been a slight reduction actually of these users. So they're becoming more choosy in the number of communities that they're engaging with. But fortunately for me, in this context of real-time talk, they've obviously chosen to spend a lot of their energy inside my community. So it's obviously providing something of value. So that's the two reasons that you would use the Users in Communities filter. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to us at our tyGraph support portal. Thanks so much.